The power of ignoring is one of the most freeing tools you can ever learn to use in life. So often we feel compelled to address every comment, defend ourselves against every criticism, and explain our actions to people who may never truly understand our intentions. But friends, let me tell you, not every opinion matters. Not every voice deserves space in your life. There's an incredible strength in knowing when to engage and when to let go. Ignoring doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've chosen to protect your peace. Think about how much energy we waste worrying about what others think. We replay conversations in our minds, crafting the perfect comebacks, imagining what we could have said or done differently. But while we're stuck in that cycle, life is moving forward. Time is slipping by, and instead of living fully in the present, we're caught up in the weight of someone else's negativity. Let me ask you this, is it worth it? Is it worth sacrificing your joy, your purpose, and your energy just to win an argument or prove a point? Here's what I've learned. Not everything deserves a response. Not every problem needs your involvement. Some things are distractions sent to pull you away from your purpose. I've seen it over and over again, people with so much potential, so much talent, getting sidetracked by unnecessary drama. They could be building their dreams, but instead they're stuck trying to win over people who were never meant to be part of their journey in the first place. Let me give you a picture to hold on to. Imagine you're walking down a beautiful path, trees on either side, sunlight streaming through the branches. The road ahead is clear and you're moving forward with confidence, but then along the way you hear someone shouting from the side of the path. They're calling your name, criticizing you, trying to get your attention. Now you have a choice. You can stop, turn around, and argue with them, or you can keep walking. If you stop, you lose your momentum. You get caught up in their drama, and suddenly the beautiful path you were on becomes overshadowed by negativity. But if you keep walking, you stay focused on where you're headed. And isn't that what we all want? To keep moving forward, to stay focused on the bigger picture. Friends, ignoring isn't about arrogance or pretending that you're better than anyone else. It's about recognizing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It's about understanding that your time and your peace are precious. Even Jesus showed us this principle. Think about how many people doubted him, criticized him, and tried to pull him down. But he didn't stop to argue with every critic. He didn't waste his time trying to explain himself to those who didn't believe in him. He stayed focused on his mission, on the purpose God had placed before him. That's the example we should follow. When you choose to ignore, you're saying, I refuse to let someone else's negativity dictate my direction. I refuse to let their words hold me back. It's a bold choice, and yes, sometimes it's a hard one. But it's also a powerful one, because when you stop giving attention to the wrong things, you make room for the right things to grow in your life. You might be thinking, but Joe, if I ignore it, doesn't that mean they've won? Let me tell you something, the real victory is when you don't let it affect you. The real strength is in walking away with your head held high, knowing that your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion. Ignoring doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're choosing to focus on what truly matters. So the next time negativity comes your way, remember this, you have the power to decide what gets your attention. You have the power to say, I'm not going to let this steal my peace. You're stronger than you think, and when you choose to ignore, you're not just protecting yourself, you're stepping into a higher level of strength. And wisdom. A smile is so much more than an expression. It's a reflection of what's happening inside you. It's a small act, but it carries tremendous power. When you smile in the face of negativity, it's not just a reaction, it's a statement. It says, you don't have the power to steal my joy. A smile is your declaration that no matter what comes your way, you're choosing to rise above it. Think about this. We live in a world where negativity often feels louder than positivity. People are quick to criticize, to complain, and to focus on what's wrong instead of what's right. But your smile, no matter how simple it seems, is a way to counteract that energy. It's a way to say, I'm not letting the darkness around me dictate my light. It's not just about pretending to be happy. It's about refusing to let external circumstances control your inner peace. Have you ever noticed how contagious a smile can be? Imagine you're walking into a room where everyone seems stressed or down, but then one person smiles at you. Suddenly the atmosphere shifts. That smile doesn't just brighten your mood, it has the power to ripple outward, changing the energy of the whole room. That's the kind of impact your smile can have, not just on yourself, but on the people around you. And here's the thing, a smile isn't a sign of weakness. Sometimes people think that smiling means you're ignoring reality, that you're not taking things seriously enough. But let me tell you, smiling in the face of challenges is one of the strongest things you can do. It shows that you're not letting the weight of the world crush your spirit. It shows that you're rooted in something deeper, something unshakable. You see, smiling is a choice. It's not always easy, especially when life throws difficulties your way. There will be days when smiling feels like the hardest thing in the world, but those are the moments when it matters the most. A smile in the storm is an act of defiance. It's you saying, I may be in the middle of a challenge, but I'm not letting it define me. I want you to think about the strength it takes to smile when someone hurts you, when things don't go your way, or when life feels overwhelming. That smile isn't just for show, it's a reflection of your resilience. It's a reminder to yourself that no matter what happens, you have the power to choose joy. Let's be real, there are people who won't understand your smile. They'll look at you and think, how can they be happy when this is happening? How can they still smile when everything seems to be falling apart? But friends, that's where your strength lies. Your smile isn't about ignoring reality, it's about rising above it. It's about choosing to see the good, even when the bad seems overwhelming. And let me tell you, smiling doesn't mean you're unaffected by the negativity around you. It doesn't mean you're immune to pain or struggle. What it does mean is that you're refusing to let those things define your mood, your outlook, or your day. It's a sign that you're holding on to hope, even in the midst of uncertainty. Think about the people you admire most in life. Chances are they're not the ones who have everything easy. They're the ones who have faced challenges, overcome obstacles, and still managed to smile through it all. That kind of strength is inspiring because it shows that no matter what life throws your way, you have the power to rise above it. So the next time you're faced with negativity, disappointment, or difficulty, take a moment to pause and smile. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're choosing not to let imperfection steal your joy. Your smile is your strength. It's your way of saying, I'm still standing, I'm still hopeful. And I'm not letting anything take that away from me. Moving on is one of the most courageous and liberating choices you can make in life. It's not always easy and it's not always immediate, but it's necessary if you want to live fully and freely. Holding on to the pain, the grudges, the disappointments, it weighs you down. It keeps you tethered to a moment in time that no longer serves you. Moving on doesn't mean you're ignoring what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means you're choosing not to let it control you anymore. Think about it like this: when you're driving a car, the windshield is huge and the rearview mirror is small. That's not by accident. You're meant to focus on what's ahead, not what's behind you. Sure, the rearview mirror is there for a reason. It's good to glance back and learn from the past. But if you spend too much time looking behind you, you'll miss what's right in front of you. Life is the same way. The past is there to teach us, to shape us, but it's not meant to be a place where we stay stuck. So many of us carry baggage from our past: hurtful words, failed relationships, missed opportunities, and we drag it with us everywhere we go. But here's the truth: the longer you hold on to that weight, the harder it becomes to move forward. Moving on is like setting that baggage down. It's realizing that you can't change the past, but you can control how much power it has over your present and your future. It's easy to say, I'll move on when they apologize, or I'll let it go when things are made right. But what if that apology never comes? What if the closure you're waiting for isn't something the other person can give you? Sometimes closure isn't about getting the answers or the resolution you think you need. It's about deciding in your heart that you're ready to let go and move forward anyway. Moving on doesn't mean you're forgetting what happened. It doesn't mean the pain or the lessons don't matter. It means you're choosing not to live in that pain. It means you're reclaiming your power. You're saying, I refuse to let this moment define the rest of my life. Let me tell you, there's a freedom that comes with moving on. It's like taking a deep breath after holding it in for too long. It's stepping out of a storm and into the sunshine. But here's the thing: moving on isn't something that always happens overnight. It's a process. Some days it might feel like you've completely let go, and then something triggers you, and the pain comes rushing back. That's okay. Moving on isn't about being perfect. It's about making the choice every day to keep walking forward. There will be people and situations that try to pull you back. They'll remind you of the hurt, the betrayal, the failure. But you have to remind yourself that you're no longer living in that place. You've moved on. You've chosen to rise above it. And every time you take a step forward, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you're stronger than what tried to break you. It takes incredible strength to move on, especially when the pain feels fresh or the wound feels deep. But every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. Every time you choose to let go of bitterness, resentment, or regret, you're creating space for something new, something better to come into your life. Think about the seasons of the year. Winter can be harsh, cold, and unforgiving. But no matter how long it lasts, spring always follows. The flowers bloom again, the sun shines again, and life begins anew. Moving on is like stepping into your spring. It's leaving behind the cold and the darkness and stepping into a season of growth and renewal. So yes, moving on takes courage. It takes faith. But it also brings peace. It's a reminder that you don't have to stay stuck in the past. You don't have to let what happened yesterday define what happens today. The act of moving on is a gift you give to yourself, a gift of freedom, of hope, of possibility. And when you embrace it, you open the door to a life that's not weighed down by the past, but lifted up by the promise of what's ahead. The challenge I want to place before you today is not just about hearing these words, but living them. Ignoring, smiling, and moving on may sound simple, but let's be honest, it takes daily practice, intentionality, and most importantly, a decision to rise above the things that try to hold you back. Life will throw obstacles your way. People will say things that sting, circumstances will arise that frustrate you. And there will be moments where you'll feel tempted to dwell on what went wrong. But this is where your strength is tested. This is where you decide, will I let this define me or will I move forward in peace? Start small. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of reacting with anger, take a deep breath and let it go. When someone at work criticizes you unfairly, remind yourself that their opinion doesn't determine your worth. When something doesn't go the way you planned, don't dwell on the disappointment. Look for the lesson and keep moving forward. These little moments are opportunities to practice grace, patience, and resilience. When you ignore, you're not ignoring because you're indifferent. You're ignoring because you've chosen to focus on what truly matters. When you smile, you're not smiling because everything is perfect. You're smiling because you know you have the power to protect your peace. When you move on, you're not moving on because the pain doesn't matter. You're moving on because you value your future more than the weight of your past. This practice isn't just about reacting to negativity, it's about shaping your mindset. It's about retraining yourself to see the bigger picture, to prioritize your emotional and mental well-being over the need to prove yourself to others. Every time you choose to ignore, smile, and move on, you're building a habit. You're strengthening a muscle that will carry you through even the toughest of situations. And let me tell you, this isn't about being perfect. You'll have days where it's harder than others. Days when you want to react, when you want to let someone know exactly how you feel. But remember, true strength is often quiet. It's found in the restraint to rise above, to take the high road, to let go of what you cannot control. Those moments of restraint are not signs of weakness. They're proof of your strength, your wisdom, and your growth. Think about how different your life could look if you made this principle a daily practice. Picture yourself walking through life with a sense of calm, a deep-seated joy, and an unwavering focus on your purpose. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel without the weight of bitterness, grudges, or distractions holding you back. That's the power of this mindset. It's not just about surviving the challenges of life. It's about thriving in the face of them. This isn't just about you either. When you choose to live this way, you become a source of inspiration to those around you. Your calm becomes contagious. Your ability to rise above negativity shows others what's possible. Whether it's your family, your coworkers, or even strangers you meet, your decision to live with peace, joy, and grace can have a ripple effect. You may never know how your ability to ignore, smile, and move on impacts someone else's life, but I promise you it does. And let's not forget, there will always be people and circumstances that test your resolve. There will always be situations that try to pull you back into old patterns of frustration, anger, or self-doubt. But the more you practice this principle, the stronger you become. Over time, you'll find that the things that used to bother you no longer have the same power. You'll learn to respond with grace instead of reacting with frustration. You'll find yourself walking through life with a sense of freedom that comes from knowing you're in control of your peace, no matter what's happening around you. This week, I challenge you to try it. The next time you face something that would usually upset you, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Is this worth my energy? Then make the choice to rise above it. Practice ignoring what doesn't serve you, smiling in the face of adversity, and moving forward with strength and grace. You'll be amazed at how much lighter, happier, and more fulfilled you feel. And as you do this, remember that you're not just changing how you react to life's challenges, you're changing your life itself. The time has come for you to step into the life you were meant to live, free from the chains of negativity, disappointment, and distractions. This is not just an idea or a suggestion, it's an invitation to transform the way you approach every single day. Practicing the principle of ignore, smile, and move on isn't just something you try once in a while. It's a lifestyle a mindset, and a commitment to protecting your pursuing your purpose no matter what comes your way. This is a call to action, a moment where you decide to live intentionally. It's easy to get caught up in the small things, to let one rude comment or one bad day spiral into something much bigger. But your time on this earth is too precious to waste on things that don't matter. Every second you spend dwelling on negativity is a second you could be using to build, grow, create, and love. Every ounce of energy you give to those who try to bring you down is energy you could be pouring into your dreams, your family, your calling. The challenge before you is simple, but it's not always easy. When negativity comes your way, will you let it pull you off course, or will you choose to stay focused? When someone criticizes you or doubts you, will you let their words weigh you down, or will you let them roll off your back and keep moving forward? When life throws a curveball, will you dwell on the setback, or will you smile, adjust your grip, and swing again? This week, I want you to start with just one moment, just one situation where you normally might react, but instead, you choose to rise above. Maybe it's ignoring a harsh word from a coworker and refusing to carry it with you for the rest of the day. Maybe it's smiling at the person who cut you off in traffic instead of letting frustration ruin your mood. Maybe it's moving on from a mistake you made instead of replaying it over and over in your mind. And here's the beauty of this principle: it gets easier with practice. The more you choose to ignore the things that don't matter, the less they affect you. The more you smile through challenges, the stronger you become. The more you move on from what's behind you, the more space you create for what's ahead. Imagine what your life could look like if you made this a habit. Picture yourself walking into every day with a sense of calm and confidence, unbothered by the negativity around you. Imagine the freedom you'd feel when you no longer let the small things get to you, when you no longer give your energy to people or situations that don't deserve it. Think about the joy and fulfillment that comes when you stop carrying the weight of the past and start stepping fully into the present. And don't underestimate the impact this will have on the people around you. When you live this way, you set an example for others to follow. You become a light in a world that so often feels heavy and dark. Your peace, your strength, your joy, it inspires others to find the same within themselves. You might never know the full extent of the influence you have, but trust me, it's there. This is your moment to decide. Will you let the world shape you, or will you rise above it? Will you spend your energy trying to change people who may never change, or will you focus on becoming the best version of yourself? Will you let the past define your future, or will you take control and move forward with purpose and determination? Every day you have a choice to protect your peace, a choice to prioritize your joy, a choice to walk boldly into the life you were created for. This is your time to take that choice seriously, to practice it daily, and to see the incredible difference it makes in your life. You've been given a gift, the gift of today. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. Don't let the small things steal the big things. Step into each day with the mindset of ignore, smile, and move on, and watch how your life begins to shift. Watch how peace takes the place of frustration, how joy overpowers negativity, and how purpose fills the space where distractions used to live. The life you want is waiting for you, and it starts with this simple, powerful choice.